Hello everyone and welcome back to the Unexplored Mojave. Today we're going to be looking at the Mojave Outpost. This was recommended to me by Wesley Gazette, who has given me tons of recommendations, and I am working towards fulfilling all of those recommendations. So the Mojave Outpost is a very famous site within Fallout New Vegas, so we'll try and take a look at some of the lesser seen parts of the outpost. Now, of course, as you can see here, there is the Unification Monument. And the reason for this monument is originally the Desert Rangers of Nevada and the New California Republic Rangers were actually separate groups, but they unified in around 2271. And then by, of course, 2281, the events of Fallout New Vegas take place. So the Desert Rangers and the NCR Rangers have only been unified for about a decade. So before that, the Desert Rangers were one of the main forces within the Mojave Wasteland. And another interesting fact is in the original Fallout game called Wasteland, which is a 1988 video game, the protagonists were called Desert Rangers. So of course the Desert Rangers are a callback to the video game Wasteland, and Fallout is the spiritual successor to Wasteland. So of course the Mojave Outpost is located in the southwesternmost part of the map. I'm not going to show it on the mini-map because it's really hard to miss, especially if you just follow the normal New Vegas playthrough route. Now as you approach it, you will find this truck filled with a bunch of Brahmin bones, or maybe they were cow or cattle bones, and maybe they died during the Great War. Hard to say, but of course in Fallout we can find Brahmin, and there's some over in this cage along with some sleeping bags. And then on the other side of this cage we can find some plants and empty whiskey bottles, but not a whole lot in here. Now the empty whiskey bottles made me think of cow tipping, so I wonder if some NCR soldiers got bored, got drunk, and maybe did something very mean to those Brahmin. Then the main part of the Mojave Outpost is that we can see it is a former inspection area for the United States government. And of course, littered around here are some police cars along with some other abandoned vehicles, signifying that this place was somewhat busy at the time of the Great War. Then if we come over to the southeastern part, we can find a gate that I didn't really know about, which leads us to the backyard area, where we can find some plants, buffalo gourds, and some wagons. But not a whole lot back here, but there are some empty boxes and sunset sarsaparilla crates that do have sunset sarsaparilla. Then we can also find some picnic tables that have empty Nuka-Cola bottles and sunset sarsaparilla bottles on them, along with a deck of cards. So I'd like to imagine NCR troops come out here during their time off in order to play cards. Heading into the barracks, we can find Cass, one of the recruitable companions within Fallout New Vegas, along with Lacey, who will sell us food and booze. So obviously this is the location where travelers or caravanners and NCR troops stop for a quick drink and a bite to eat. And it is also worth noting that today the Mojave Outpost serves as a major outpost, administrative outpost for the NCR, as a place for caravanners to go through inspection and stop by before they enter the Mojave Wasteland or head towards the New California Republic, in which case they have to go through the Long 15, which will be a future video. On top of the barracks, we can find Ranger Ghost, and get some pretty good views of the southern part of the Mojave Wasteland, including Prim and Nipton. Inside the Mojave Outpost headquarters, we can find Major Knight, who is a very useful character because he has 100 repair. So if you ever need to fix up your items, he's always a good guy to come to. The rest of this building, though, is just desk and office area that obviously is used by the NCR. As I said earlier, the NCR uses this as an administrative area, and it also helps them to enforce their protection over the southern Mojave. Although, of course, they've been kind of failing in that department recently with the Legion attack at Nipton. And, of course, the escaped convict situation in Prim and the NCR Correctional Facility, the Powder Gangers. Alright, that's pretty much sums up the Mojave Outpost. Now, one thing I wanted to quickly talk about is the function of the outpost before the Great War. what was it used for? Because it's kind of weird that this outpost exists, at least to me. It sits close to the border between California and Nevada. However, in the Fallout universe, the 50 states of America were dissolved, and America was reorganized into 13 commonwealths. And these commonwealths were spread across the United States and the newly annexed Canada. That's right, in the Fallout universe, the United States annexed Canada. So I was trying to figure out what purpose the Mojave Outpost would have served before the Great War, and I'm just not very sure. It could have been related to the Long 15, which is a long stretch of road that is very desolate without a lot of supplies on it, but that doesn't seem so likely to me. So, what do you guys think it was used for? And it's also worth noting that the Mojave Outpost is in the same geographical area as the real-world Mountain Pass, California, which is near the border of Nevada and California. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any recommendations for the next video, please post them in the comment section below. And until next time.